I don't know why, but for whatever reason, everyone who owns an heirloom always insists on spamming the inspect animation whenever they get 1 single second of downtime. And I have no idea why we all do this, but that also reminds me of how we all keep opening the inventory all the goddamn time. I haven't picked up anything for the last 2 minutes, but for whatever reason, I have to open my inventory to make sure that nothing's changed. And to make matters worse, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I open my inventory without actually looking what's inside of it, so I don't even notice that I'm carrying a white sniper stock for no reason. The same goes for opening the map. Sure, I can vouch that there may be some benefit to regularly checking the map and keeping track of the circle, but after a certain point, it's just completely unnecessary. Speaking of which, I don't know about you guys, but way too many insist on yelling Kobe whenever you're trying to hit a sick grenade.
Kobe.
I don't know if it actually helps, and I swear that, if anything, it has some real Jesus take the wheel energy, which doesn't really sit right with me. And something else that relies on somebody else is asking your teammates, or specifically your support teammates, or even more specifically, lifelines to res you.
Lifeline!
She's not gonna res you, bro, just stop asking. Something else that just doesn't change has to be the loot in the death boxes. I don't know why, but I know that most of us are very guilty of going through the same death box, not once, not twice, but at least 4 times before moving on. It's not like some guy randomly snuck by and put more loot in the box. Like, come on, man. This next one isn't necessarily directed at me or any of you guys watching the video, but I do want to mention that for whatever reason, tons of you guys have TTV or Twitch in your name, but every time I check, you're never live. Come on, guys. I just want to make a streamer reactions video. Like, seriously. Speaking about streamers, me, it's other people just not caring. Or like the plan is to respond to the other guys. It's getting the complacent ones. Audio would be awesome. What about complaining about whatever input kills you? Like, seriously, I swear that every mouse and keyboard user will complain when they get fried and see somebody standing still on the death box, and every controller user will complain when they get killed and whoever killed them does a full lap dance on their death box. For real, is it really necessary? It is. But on the topic of streamers, why do all non-TTV Wraiths spam their knockdown shields whenever they're downed? It doesn't give any tactical advantage whatsoever, yet I see it every single day. Just like people calling Apex the worst game ever, even though it's probably the only game that you guys play. And I mean, I get it. Complaining about Apex is awesome. And most complaints are valid, but is it necessary? Probably. I mean, one great example of that is audio. We all still expect to hear the enemies coming up behind us, and we're prepared for that to happen, but it's pretty unnecessary because almost every time, footsteps just don't play. Audio? But while we are on the subject of movement, what's up with us movement dudes using movement techniques wherever we go? I mean, sure, yeah, running, sliding, and jumping over and over again does give some additional speed, but what's up with us wall hopping, super gliding, or zipline super jumping wherever we go? At this point, it's just to show off for nobody. And speaking of doing things for nobody, why do we keep insisting on closing the door behind us? Is this just a result of our parents conditioning us to never leave the door open? Or is there a real reason to do this? I don't know the answer to that. If you want the answer to that, maybe you need a little bit of counseling. But the way we were raised definitely has to do with this next unnecessary thing, that being yelling that the enemy who killed us is one shot, or at the very least, low health. Because we can't have our teammates know that we messed up, and are in fact the biggest failures, just like my parents said. Speaking of poor parenting, what's up with so many of the quiet ones suddenly getting a voice the moment they go down?
Where's my f***ing team, bro?
Just to berate their teammates? I know not all of us do this, but it is pretty unnecessary, so I wanted to bring it up. And while we're at the subject of voice chat, what's up with so many of us playing with an open microphone? I swear I get to hear somebody's smoke detector, background noise, or their kid crying every single day. Speaking of bad teammates, what's up with the ones that ping every single thing that they see? Just shut up. Shut up. Shut up. While we're at the subject of loot, we definitely keep picking up way more stuff than we actually need. I swear that I keep picking up things I don't actually need just because it feels natural. Just like how I keep trying to pick up things that I actually do need, even if I have enough or if the inventory is full. Because deep down, we're all just the biggest loot goblins. And just like with ammo, what's up with all of us carrying way too many heals at all times? I'm personally a victim of carrying way too many stacks of cells or syringes, despite not really using them. I don't know why I do it, and I don't expect it to change anytime soon. Just like switching up your sensitivity or settings if things don't happen to be going that well. It's not like having the sensitivity randomly being 10 times higher will suddenly allow you to hit shots. And speaking about things not making a difference, I'm sure I'm not alone in unreadying and readying back up when the queue takes too long. I mean, it must have been a bug. There's no way pubs take 5 minutes, right? Something else that definitely is pretty unnecessary is going through the loadout screen and clicking through all the red dots. Sure, I can see why many players don't want to deal with the annoying reminders, but you can just do mark as seen, guys. This is the actual definition of unnecessary. Just like when the servers crash or go down and we get stuck in a loading screen. Cause despite knowing better, we're gonna keep spamming the join button until the game magically starts working again, no matter whether that's in 5 minutes or 5 hours. And sometimes all you can do is fill the time with some silly games. And I don't know what's up with this, but so many of us, for whatever reason, insist on jumping after shooting with a shotgun. It just makes us a super easy target, but for some reason, we keep insisting on doing it. Just like how we insist on seeing that we have way too much of a certain item in our inventory, like a stack of light ammo or something, recognizing that it's too much, dropping that light ammo, and then picking up the first piece of light ammo that we see anyways. Speaking of loot, what's up with us constantly spam clicking whenever opening loot boxes? It's not like spamming the buttons will give us any better luck, because, you know, spamming the A and B repeatedly didn't work in Pokemon, so I have no idea why we expect it to work here. And of course, why do we keep watching videos without hitting the like button, or maybe even subscribing if we enjoy the content and want to see more from the same creator? And what about always insisting on keeping weapon spots in the right order? The primary has to be on 1, and the secondary, usually like a shotgun or sniper, has to be on 2. It makes some sense if you're a mouse and keyboard player because we have specific keys for the different guns, but I've seen controller players drop their guns on the ground and then pick them back up just to get the order right. Why do we do this? I don't get it. Something else completely unnecessary that we all definitely do is that when we're the last one alive, or God forbid, no filling, we're still gonna end up pinging enemies or loot without anyone really being there to hear it.
Still talking to myself? And I sound good.
And what about when you finish a game, especially ranked? I swear we all have to be spam clicking through the menu at this point, because it's not like anybody has time to go through the 100 different screens just to see how many points we lost to a full ratting team who was just sitting in a corner in the first place. And in the same vein, why do we keep spam pinging an enemy while they are finishing us? It's not like the enemy can see it. I mean, because, you know, it's not like pinging deals any extra damage or anything. Speaking of dealing or taking damage, so many of us to this day keep stepping back after putting a grenade in the loot hold on King's Canyon. They don't do damage, guys. Let's just relax. Oh, and oh wow, I almost forgot. Why do we all keep spamming the legend we're going to play when selecting, and why do we keep swapping the skin of the gun that we pick to our own? Like in some cases, I can cut you some slack if you want to swap to some pay-to-win skin, but what's the point in switching your skin to a non-pay-to-win skin just because it might look better or because you're used to it? Hell, some people will even switch to their skin even if their own skin looks worse just because it would feel wrong otherwise. I'll just never understand it. And all of these things are so incredibly unnecessary, but for whatever reason, we just keep on doing them. But what about those things that really suck about Apex that others, or sometimes even the game itself, keeps doing? Make sure to check out the video on the screen to see things that we all hate about Apex Legends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.